boys and girls, and fellow scientists. The weird and wonderful world of eyes is what this video covers. And let me tell you, there are amazing eyes out there in the animal kingdom. Us as human beings have eyes, and I sometimes think we take that for granted. But the eye is a spectacular organ that many animals evolved to have, including ourselves. And it does a wonderful job at allowing us to explore our environment in a way that animals or living things without eyes wouldn't be able to do. So, without further ado, let's jump in. So, the eye is an organ that absorbs light from your environment, and then with the help of a brain, it creates a vision of the world around you. So, light goes in, and your brain turns that light information, into what you call sight or seeing. So your brain creates this image of what your environment looks like by simply using the light that bounces off the environment and enters into your eye. So if I had to break down the basic structure of your eye, you would get the iris, which is for humans that part that has color, right? Where you'd say, oh, it's brown eyes or blue eyes. That's the iris. And it's actually just a collection of muscles that contract and relax to control the size of the pupil. And the pupil is where light actually enters into your eye, right? Then we have the white part called the sclera. So first up, this one is familiar. These are human eyes, and you and I both have them, okay? And you get different color human eyes. You get brown, you get blue, you get green. Brown being the most common, blue being the least common. And you get also different variations in between colors as well. Humans can see in what they call binocular vision, right? So, like looking through binoculars, you get two images, but they overlap to form a single image. And that's kind of how your eyes work. So although there's overlap, so like that's why when you close your left eye and your right eye, the image kind of shifts, but your brain kind of cancels that from happening and then just makes it into one single image. Quite cool. Next we have the tarsier, or what you might know as a bush baby. Its eyes, straight off what you notice, it's huge. It has huge eyeballs in its skull. It can't turn its eyeballs it can't move its eyeballs like we do. To move or to change its view, it has to move its entire head around or look around with its head, right? Its eyes are big because it needs them to find its food, which is insects, and insects have a tendency to kind of camouflage, so it really needs good eyesight, but quite big eyes over here. So then we have the damselfly eyes, or the eyes of a common blue damselfly. Very pretty, straight off the bat. You can see it's quite blue, and that's where it gets its name from. And what else you'll notice is that it's made up of really tiny sort of hexagons. And that's because it has compound eyes, like a lot of insects do. And these compound eyes form a compound image of its environment. So instead of looking like we see a single, image, insects with compound eyes or animals with compound eyes see as if they're looking through a kaleidoscope. Or if you don't know what a kaleidoscope is, it's sort of like having thousands of different televisions that you're looking at life through, you know what I mean? And, looking at thousands of different TVs at the same time. And that's how you see your environment. And that's how it sees it as well. We have the magnificent eyes of the spiny-tailed gecko. I mean, that's just beautiful to look at. You might find it scary. I just find it actually quite beautiful. And Naruto fans might be reminded of the Sharingan. So yeah, I thought this was cool. Then we have the eyes of a jumping spider, also very pretty, almost very marble-like. Right, you can actually see the reflection of its environment inside its eyeballs. You can see it's in like a sort of grassy area over there. You see a stone. All right. Anyway, you only see 4 eyes here, but most spiders have 8 eyes. You can't see it in this image because the eyes are hidden at the back, but in this image you can see them better, and you can actually count with me. You can see there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 eyes, and that's typical of most spiders having 8 eyes. Don't get me wrong though, spiders have 8 eyes, but that doesn't mean they can see very well. In fact, they can see around them, but a lot of time the image is very short or their vision is blurry. All right, so we have next we have the eyes of the chameleon. The chameleon has a very interesting ability with its eyes. It can move its eyes independent from one another. So for you and I, if you want to move your eyes left, both eyes move left at the same time. But a chameleon can move its one eye to look left, and it can move its other eye to look right. And to get basically, you can look at two different directions at the same time, which is really cool. And we have the eyes of a leaf-tailed gecko. And again, geckos always have these amazing eyes. This one's pupil looks as though it's a crack in its eye, but it's really just the pupil where the light enters. And you can see its iris is also have this very strange, beautiful pattern. Then we have the strange eye of the octopus. Octopuses have rectangular pupils, all right, and it kind of just looks like a slit where you can put your mail in or you can put money in, but it's really a pupil, right? It's an eye, and it's where the light enters. And the reason why it's what it is, how it looks, it looks like it looks, and it's the size it is because deep down in the ocean, there's not a lot of light. So its pupil needs to be very large to absorb as much light as it can to create an image of its environment. Then we have the eyes of a crocodile, again very pretty, and the vertical slit pupil, it always reminds me of the Eye of Sauron from Lord of the Rings. But also very pretty, very beautiful, and its scales also lovely. And then we have the strange eyes of a goat. If you didn't know, goats have rectangular pupils, which I always found to be kind of like creepy. So they don't have round pupils like most mammals do. They have rectangular pupils. And we have the beautiful eyes of the red-eyed tree frog, which you notice immediately against its green color. These are complementary colors, red and green. And the reason why it has these bright red eyes is because it actually uses it to scare away any animals that would try to eat it. So what it would do is it would close its eyes and camouflage against a leaf. And then as the predator comes closer, it would open its eyes suddenly and startle the animal, and that would actually scare it away most times. I find it, however, very pretty. All right, Eurasian eagle owl eyes, or the eyes of the Eurasian eagle owl, as you can see there, are first of all very stunningly orange and very large. And like most owls, the Eurasian eagle owl has excellent vision, and they can see 20 times and even more than that further away than humans can. So they can see 20 times the distance we can see. Their eyes are like natural binoculars, and owls and other birds of prey like eagles need that vision, because remember, they fly high up, and so they need to spot their prey from very high or far distances, and so they can also target in and move in and get their prey. So they need that vision. Unfortunately, because of the big eyes, they can't move their eyeball, similar to the bush baby. They need to move their entire head to change their vision or their view. And that's why you'll find that owls have this ability to turn their heads 270 degrees. Like they can almost twist their necks, almost their heads all the way around. And that's because they can't move their eyeballs, so they need that ability. All right, then we have the eyes of a bee. All right, bees at first look like they have two eyes, right? Two compound eyes, but really they have a total of 5 eyes, and you can see the other 3 eyes at the top of its head. These eyes are called ocelli, which are a type of very simple eyes, and those eyes at the top of its head are used to detect the direction of light, specifically from the sun. And bees use this to help them navigate as they collect nectar to make honey during the day. Then we have the eyes of a ghost crab. Crabs have stalk eyes, which means that it's basically on these sticks, right? They come out of his body. They can put their eyes back in their body. They can pull them out again. Very strange. You'll notice that there's sand on the eyes, and the crab's not at least bothered by it. when you and I would be, even if a little piece of sand gets in your eye, you're like, ah, my eye. But that's because crabs have a protective membrane, sort of like a protective plastic sleeve around their eye to keep them from getting hurt from when sand blows in it, since they don't have, eyelids, right, like we do. So they need that, and it also keeps them from drying out. Oh, one more thing before I move on. Crabs actually have compound eyes, even though it doesn't look like it. So again, they see a compounded vision of their environment. Then we have the eyes of a fly. I know flies are nasty, but I think their eyes are very interesting. And again, you can see compound eyes. And we have the eyes of a snail, and again, you can see their stalk eyes, which means they're on these stalks. And then you can see the eye at the end. When a snail feels threatened, it can pull its eyes or retract its eyes back into its body. And then when it feels safe again, it just kind of extends their eyes back out again. It really allows the snail a better view if it's on stalks, so that the snail can basically, it can see higher than, or at a higher angle than where it is, which is close to the ground. And then lastly, we have the very strange or futuristic looking eyes of the mantis shrimp. The mantis shrimp lives very deep down in the ocean, but has one of the most amazing eyes of the animal kingdom. It has 16 different color receptors in its eye, whereas humans only have 3. So those color receptors allow us to see color. So we have 3 of them, and we already see like so many different colors. So I can't even imagine what 16 color receptors will allow you to see. So this mantis shrimp can see way more than we can. Also, you'll notice that it has 2 pupils in each eye, which allows it to have spectacular vision, and I don't think anything gets past the eyes of this creature, the mantis shrimp. Alright, I hope that you found that interesting. Please drop a like if you enjoyed the video, and if you haven't subscribed, do so, because there's a lot more interesting content on its way. Thank you, and remember to never stop learning, and till next time, peace out.